So, today's lesson might be a little bit longer because in today's lesson we are going through the entire declension of the Latin nouns, except the irregular nouns, that is. So, from the beginning, in Latin we have 5 plus 1 case. We have the nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, and the vocative. Technically, there is a 7th case as well, the locative, but that is so rarely used and so niche that we honestly, for now at least, do not really need to bother with this. Now, the vocative case is often the exact same as the nominative case, but there is one significant exception. You see, for singular masculine nouns ending in us, in the second declension, the vocative ending is e and not us. For example, friend would be amicus, the vocative would be amice. Servant, servus, the vocative serve. A special sub-exception to this rule applies to proper names that end in ius. For example, Vergilius or Filius. And these use the ending e, which is a long e, in the vocative case rather than e. For example, Filius, Filii. For all other declensions and genders, first, third, fourth, and fifth, the vocative case is indeed identical to the nominative case. And because of this, we are not including the vocative in the following tables I will show you. And because it would not make much sense for many of the examples, as you will see, unless you want to calm the water, which is okay if you want to invoke the water. Make it a water incantation if you want. So, we have 5 main declensions. Let us begin with the first declension, the A declension, which is primarily femininum. So, aqua. First, before I start with the table, what you see here is we have the nominative case and the ending of the genitive case. Next, we have the gender and then the translation. And that is what you would usually find in a proper Latin dictionary. You will see, it is quite important to have the nominative and the genitive so that we can see in what type of those 5 declension a specific word falls. Anyway, let's go it step by step, starting with the nominative, then genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. Again, the vocative would be exactly the same as the nominative for both singular and plural. So, aqua, aquae, aquae, aquam, aqua. The plural, aquae, aquarum, aquis, aquas, aquis. Second declension or declension. This one is primarily masculinum and neutrum. Again, we have our word entry on top. So, servus, servi, servo, servum, servo, plural, servi, servorum, servis, servos, servis. Now, the same declension, but this time with a neuter word. Donum, doni, dono, donum, dono, dona, donorum, donis, dona, donis. Next, the third declension or consonant declension. Here we have all three genders, starting with the femininum. And you see, this time we do not just have the ending of the genitive case, but the entire words. And you will see that is kinda important. Anyway, urbs, urbis, urbi, urbem, urbe, urbes, urbium or urbum, urbibus, urbes or urbis, and urbibus. Next, the masculinum. Here you can see the nominative and the genitive are a little bit more different. That is because here we have the g plus s as the beginning, and that becomes naturally x. And that's all to it. So, rex, regis, regi, regem, rege. Plural, reges, regum, regibus, reges, regibus. And the third, the neuter. Corpus, corporis, corpori, corpus, corpore. Plural, corpora, corporum, corporibus, corpora, corporibus. Next, the third declension. Here again we have all three genders, beginning with the femininum. Tuaris, tuaris, tuari, tuarium or tuarem, tuari or tuare, and the plural. Tuares, tuarium, tuaribus, tuaris or tuares, and tuaribus. Next, the masculinum. Kiwis, kiwis, kiwi, kiwem, kiwe. Kiwes, kiwium, kiwibus, kiwes, kiwibus. And lastly, for this declension, a neuter example. Mare, maris, mari, mare, marie. Maria, marium, maribus, maria, maribus. Next we have the fourth declension or declension. This one is primarily masculinum, but also has some feminine and neuter. Beginning with the masculine this time. Fructus, fructus, fructui, fructum, fructu. Fructus, fructuum, fructius, fructus, and fructibus. Next, the neuter word. Here, we do have a bit more forms. Usually, you would look at the first ones. In this case, for example, then cornu. And that would be enough. But just in case you ever encounter the other ones, the other forms are here as well. So, cornu, cornus, cornu, cornu, cornu. Plural, cornua, cornuum, cornibus, cornua, cornibus. And lastly, for this declension, the femininum. Manus, manus, manui, manum, manu. Plural, manus, manuum, manibus, manus, manibus. And finally, the last, the fifth declension or declension. This one is primarily femininum, but has also exceptions like dies, which is actually femininum and masculinum. But first, the purely femininum. Res, rei, rei, rem, re. Plural, res, rerum, rebus, res, rebus. And the S, the A, the A, the M, the air, the S, the aerum, the aebus, the S, the aebus. This one serves as the example for the masculinum. So, those are basically all forms you need to know, except irregular ones, but those can be left aside for now.